About the same hair, honestly.
The same hair. We got the same kind of curls. Ian Shefflin as well, too.
Well, Hall on the way down, taps it back. Chase Hunter controls for Clemson. And the Tigers back on their home floor, looking to snap a 3-game losing streak against short-handed Boston College without 2 starters. Prince, Aligbe, and Quinten Post both out in this game. So you'd think that we'll see a lot of this as Hall goes inside and misses his first shot.
You can just tell they want to go points in the paint, right into high-low from Shefflin, right to Hall to try to take advantage of Boston College's front court being out.
Boston College without their top scorer, Quinten Post, at 17 points a game. Aligbe also gave him 6.5 points. So over 20 points a game missing from this starting lineup. Claudell Harris, his first one is way off.
In order for Boston College to hang around, they're going to have to make a lot of threes. They're undermanned right now based on the guys being out with the flu, so they're going to have to make shots. And guys like Harris can make those. He's a dynamic scorer.
And this Clemson starting lineup is very big as Hall gets up the first 2, but nothing down yet.
Back-to-back possessions, Connor. They went right into the paint. It's a good game plan by Coach Purnell there to get it right inside. Great ball movement by Boston College.
And it earns Harris a shot tight to the rim, but it was contested. You'd think that Boston College is going to put the ball in the hands of Harris even more than they normally do without Post.
Well, I think based on them needing to score, they're going to need him to be a dynamic scorer and have one of those type of career nights tonight. And look, Earl Grant, who's done a tremendous job there at Boston College at this point, knows that he's going to have to get those guards to find ways to score the ball.
Well, that'll help Jaeden Zackery from the mid-range.
Zackery's a good, tough, hard-nosed player. He's going to have to step up in a game like this to find other ways to really put the ball in the basket.
Well, Girard's been struggling to shoot. First one is off, and we'll stay down on this end with Clemson, with Shefflin down on the deck. So Brad Brownell, his goal and his message to his team this week was, we got to get our mojo back after the loss against Virginia Tech.
Yeah, and this is a great opportunity to do it. They've got a great stretch coming up. They want to get back on the winning ways. And look at him, all-time wins leader in the school history. Anyone that's not happy with Brad Brownell, he's one of the best coaches, not only in this conference, but in the country. Does an incredible job. They should have been in the tournament last year. Wasn't right. Yep. They should have got in. They deserve to be in.
Shefflin working through the double. Nice dish. And that won't sit down either. An 0 for start is finally followed up with Chauncey Wiggins on the first make.
I can't say it enough. You can see they're not even looking at shooting a three-point shot right now. They are just saying, get to the paint, whether that's through the pass or off the offensive glass. We've got to smash them on in the paint with Prince and Post being out for this afternoon.
Clemson has a look of a team that wants to score 60 in the paint today. Madsen is blocked. Girard got out there, but now a 5-on-4 for the Eagles. As Girard gets back in, late clock. And Harris bags the 3.
In order for Boston College, they just need to hang around. You know, with them being short man tonight, they just need to hang around, and making threes is what's going to allow them to do that.
Girard with back-to-back misses to start his day. Zackery downhill and leaves it off for a lay-in for Strong.
Sports is so funny, Connor. Sometimes you think a guy or two, your starters, are going to be out. It gives other guys opportunities to step up, and other guys to get actually more shot opportunities as well, too. Got lucky they didn't get a push-off there.
P.J. Hall going to the free throw line. Elijah Strong is that guy that you're describing for Earl Grant, who, of course, is back in a place where he coached for a while under Brad Brownell in 2010 through 2014.
Both Brad Brownell and Earl Grant are tremendous coaches. Obviously, Earl was an assistant with Brad Brownell, but both these guys are high-level guys. I obviously can't say enough about Brad and the job that he's done at Clemson, and to be the winningest coach in the school. History is very hard to do. And then you're talking about Earl Grant, who's building the program, who's done it. He's won, and their teams they defend. They run great action. They've recruited at a high level. Both these coaches are high-level coaches. And look, people think, well, you're a coach. You're always going to speak highly of coaches. I understand the great job both these gentlemen have done at their schools.
You ever talk trash to other coaches?
I have not, no.
I didn't think so.
I'm a pro coach.
I didn't think so.
I'm pro for coaches.
Right, you're not a EuroLeague coach.
Not a EuroLeague. Not when I say pro coach.
In support, you're an ally.
Yeah, I'm an ally. There you go. It's a better word. That's why you're my point guard, Connor.
There you go. It is very similar. It's more similar than it is different when you look at Earl Grant's team and Brad Brownell's team because of that influence coaching together. Harris banks it in. Oh, he's been feeling good lately. Maybe not in that way, though.
Well, look, they're both execution-based teams. They rely on half-court offense and precision of their cutting, screening.
Well, there you go. Pounding it in the post. P.J. Hall with the hook.
Yeah, I just think that's going to be the whole deal of the game right now. I mean, Girard, obviously, you've got to give him some room to shoot those threes, but they're not doing anything without getting the ball inside to the paint right there, and that's their whole deal.
And a carry on Elijah Strong. Well, here at Clemson, this is the first year of gymnastics. We'll give you a little inside look on what was a historic night with a packed crowd a night ago. ACC men's college basketball is... Well, this has been a couple years in the making. In June 2021, Clemson added gymnastics. It all led into last night's inaugural meet. The crew that we're working with today televised it, bringing it to the people back home. Congratulations to Rebecca Wells, by the way. Will always go down in history. First gymnast to compete here, first all-around champion, and did it in front of a packed crowd, over 8,000 fans at Littlejohn last night to see the first one ever.
I tell you, those gymnasts are such incredible athletes. I'm just amazed when you're watching the Olympics and stuff and what they can do. It's amazing.
With Josh Pastner, Connor Onion, Clemson back on their home floor trying to snap a 3-game losing streak today.
You can see Coach Burnell was not happy with that shot by Wiggins. He went right to Chase Hunter and says, get checked in the game right now. Wiggins has gotten so much better. They've done a great job, Clemson has, is developing him, but that is not the shot that Coach Burnell wanted.
In and out for Harris. Strong fighting for the offensive rebounds, and this will stay down here with him and Hall fighting for position.
You know, sometimes what happens just by human nature, Connor, and just by human error, you're thinking, okay, well, the two of their best players are out. Can just by human nature, you have a little bit of a letdown. You think we can have a letdown a little bit, and you can't. Not in sports. Anything can happen, and I know that's probably, right now, that's what Coach Burnell's thinking.
A physical backhand for Harris, side backboard. Good defense from Dylan Hunter, who picked up that first foul on that last play. You said it, Chase Hunter rushing back to the scorer's table. After that sequence, and Hall is inside for 2.
Coach Burnell that last sequence was upset about Wiggins' shot. Thought it was quick and early. This time they made sure go inside to P.J. Hall, points in the paint, don't let him off the hook. Clemson's really good defensively as well, too, in the half court. Again, execution's not just on the offensive end, it also includes on the defensive end.
Clemson in the stands for a while here. Late clock for Chaz Kelly, who came in at the timeout at point guard. Down to 3 to go. Strong at 3. In 30 seconds, a good defense there for the Tigers.
Yeah, really good defense. And see, that's where you're not having post, who'd be able to come up, and set a high ball screen in those late clock situations and be able to pick and pop, and they're just not able to do that with post out.
And be able to guard this guy, P.J. Hall.
Now, he's been outstanding. You can see the seal there. Look at both elbows and palms to the basketball, getting great positioning, forcing the angles. So not only is he setting the tone into the paint right now, Connor, but they're also putting Boston College, making him foul, which allows them to inch their way to the bonus. I mean, P.J. Hall's just a load down there. As we saw in the opening graphic, you know, you're looking at P.J. Hall, Chase Hunter, Girard, those older guys. That veteran leadership makes a big deal.
Coach Pastner, this is a great day of ACC hoops. Coming up next, triple header on ACC Network. Take you out to Cameron Indoor, 11th ranked Duke against Georgia Tech. Miami and Virginia Tech right after that in Blacksburg to cap the day right here on ACC Network.
And Georgia Tech beat Duke earlier in the year on a big-time win for Georgia Tech to do that. That was a great win by Coach Damon Stoudemire and their team. So I know Duke's going to try to want to get back at them. And then you've got the Virginia Tech-Miami game. Miami's going to want to get back on winning ways after the tough game versus Louisville.
Against Georgia Tech, that was Boston College's win in the league. Fun, high-scoring game into the upper 80s and 90s. Hook shot short from McLaughlin.
And McLaughlin had a huge game versus Georgia Tech in that win, and they're going to need McLaughlin to have a big-time game today if they're going to want to win this game.
Strong take, but a little heavy for Godfrey. can add to the 6-0 Clemson run.
And look, it doesn't matter right now in Clemson whether it's Gottfried or Hall. They're just looking to go right inside and post both guys to establish inside presence, whether it doesn't always have to be Hall.
Well, that's a deep one for Hands, and one and done on the rebound for Hunter. You said it, Boston College is going to have to hit some threes today without their post presence.
Yeah, and you can see right now Zackery got on to Gottfried, and they went right inside on that matchup. Good recognition there by Clemson. And if you noticed on the transition, Coach Brunell actually asked him to slow it down for a second so they could get right into that matchup right there and created the high-low direct entry pass. And Zackery, who's tough and a hard-nosed point guard, just a little too small against a guy like Gottfried. But back to Boston College, if they're not able to hit a bunch of threes today based on who they're missing, it's going to be hard for them.
Yeah. Harris did hit one before that first time out. The second one, by the way, that he banked in memorably, that was a 2. Ruled a 2 at the timeout. Hall will check out. A game where we expected that he would be duking it out with Quinten Post all day long. But if you just flipped us over, the leading scorer at that 5 spot for Boston College out with illness.
Yeah. And you can see right now with Boston College, like last year, they were shooting 32% from 3. One of the worst teams in the country from 3-point range. This year, they're one of the top better ones in the ACC, not only in the ACC, but also in the country at 36% from 3. Tonight, this afternoon, they're going to need to shoot around the 40% mark to have a chance just to hang around and or possibly win this game.
Clemson's got the clamps on right now, over 3 minutes without a field goal for the Eagles. And into Godfrey, has a big on him this time, and Strong clamps it, but into the hands of Shefflin. Skip past 3, and it goes down. Dylan Hunter from outside.
50-50 ball, what Shefflin does. He comes up with so many loose balls. He's a winning player. He just finds ways to get those loose balls. Look, right now, Boston College, you can see offensively, they're trying to execute exactly what they need to do. But when you're missing the type of scoring that they're missing right now, you almost have to reinvent and change some things within the course of the game.
Well, Hunter called for his second foul. He had the 3 after the Shefflin hustle.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how many wins on 50-50 or loose balls that Shefflin has come up with that then finds a basket that leads to a basket. And for why they're a current NCAA tournament team is because of guys like Shefflin coming up with those loose balls and winning them. Not only coming up with it, but winning them and turning them to scores.
First sign of foul trouble either way with Dylan Hunter going to the bench with 2 fouls for the Tigers. He was a guy that they lean on defensively quite a bit. 3 on the clock, and Kelly is fouled on his way to the rim.
Connor, as you can tell, late clock. Boston College has been put in a lot of positions on late clock situations. One, because of Clemson's the way they're executing within their half-court defense. Very sound. They're shrinking the floor. They're making sure that they're not overextending anywhere. However, for Boston College, we're late clock situations where they've had guys like Prince, but especially Post, who can set up a ball screen. You can throw him at the block. You can throw him at the elbow. He can bail you out. Missing that right now, so really you can tell has affected BC.
Well, hey, tomorrow afternoon's women's basketball triple-header. Pitt squares off against Boston College at noon Eastern. Number 15, Louisville against Wake. And the afternoon cap with Virginia. Number 20, North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Women's hoops every Sunday right here on ACC Network and the app. So Boston College went to that first time out leading. And Clemson led by their defense and P.J. Hall. Out by 4 ahead of the under 12.
Really good transition defense there by Shefflin. Ian Shefflin just kind of loading to the ball, playing 5-on-4 advantage Clemson in the transition while waiting for Boston College's trail post to come down.
Well, Strong has not been scared to get his shot up and to start today.
No, and they need him to make some shots. I mean, they're just going to need to find different ways to score.
Oh, there it is for Girard. Going through a shooting slump, he gets one to go.
Screen and re-screen action. They came out the hard hedge. Girard read it. Rejected the other way.
How about that answer?
It's a good answer.
Chaz Kelly right back at him. Well, you could see it, though, from Girard. He pumped his fist. He knew that he needs to get his shot going. That had to feel good.
Yeah, and when you're a shooter like Girard who can really score, just seeing the ball go through the hoop makes a big difference.
And Shefflin with the putback.
That's what he does, Connor. Whether it's offensive rebounds, first to the floor, loose balls, he makes winning plays.
And Kelly on the take. Nice find, strong through the back door.
Really good baseline drive. Clemson was in a good defensive possession, but they cut. They call it a 45 cut. Weak side slot, as they call it, a 45 cut. And he dove from that side, got right to the rim.
Hunter three. Book that.
Connor, if Clemson's making these threes, they don't need to worry about points in the paint.
Sure don't.
Three's better than two if you didn't know that.
Good math there. Chase Hunter, he was challenged by this coaching staff after that loss against Virginia Tech midweek. Coming out hitting shots, and the follow-up goes down for McLaughlin off the miss.
Chase Hunter is one of their big, as we talked about in the very beginning about the trio, and they need Chase to be really good for them.
Well, he was challenged both ends.
Really challenged, absolutely. He was challenged by coach, absolutely. And he's responded this afternoon to this point.
Well, one of the things Brad Brownell said is outside shots. Got to start going for him. He was 2 of his last 14 before Chase Hunter knocked that one down to extend the lead for the Tigers.
You can see right here, Girard comes off that screen, sees a guy show, comes back, hits a three, then he finds Chase Hunter on the slot and nothing but the net. That's why
Welcome back. The Clemson Tigers relying on these two guys, P.J. Hall, Joe Girard, to get going. Good to see Girard hit a shot there before the timeout.
Yeah, look, both guys are such keys to their team. Part of the reason they did not play well and lost the 3-game losing streak was P.J. Hall and Girard didn't play well. I mean, you look at the way they're shooting on their field goal percentage, and they're below their points per game. And you know, right now this afternoon's a little bit of a different story for them. That's why they're winning. But Clemson needs those two to be really good. And for this game right now, as you and I were talking about, only 1 turnover to this point combined for both teams. It's been a pretty clean game. They've not turned the ball over. Both teams don't extend pressure. They play within the half court. It's not something they do where they force turnovers and have high pressure.
Which if you're Boston College, you're saying, phew, because that was ramped up pressure against Clemson. And Shefflin is there for the dunk.
That was an outstanding backdoor cut pass behind the back. Looked like the Harlem Globetrotters back in the day. That was awesome.
Harris, oh, nice move off the shot fake.
You can see right there where they got lifted. Harris really came down, sold with the shot fake and the pivot. Clemson did not stay down, wasn't staying disciplined to stay on that shot fake, got risen up and allowed for the straight layup.
When P.J. Hall brought it down, kept it. Beadle in the game goes right back to him. And Hall falling away, cash money.
He's in contention for ACC Player of the Year. Obviously, he's on the Wooden Award mid-season list. But, you know, he's had a great season to this point.
And Virginia Tech held him to 11 points the other night, already at 10. A little past the midway point of this first half. McLaughlin kick out. Zackery buzzes it to Hands, who can't hit the three.
Outstanding shot and ball movement by Boston College. If I'm Coach Grant, no problem with that shot.
Well, Shefflin wanted it, had inside position on Madsen. Back out for Girard. Well, Shefflin bangs his way in and dances off the rim.
You know, the matchup with Madsen was on Shefflin there, and Shefflin just, you can see the angle. He got right to the rim. He just missed a layup. But really good pass there by Girard, getting to the paint and just a dump down. You had double duck-ins both by Hall and Shefflin.
And Madsen uses his speed past Shefflin.
Clemson closed out on Madsen because he's known as a three-point shooter. That's what he does. So they closed out so hard to take away his three. Madsen made the decision to say, I'm not shooting this thing. I'm going right to the rim.
Well, usually you don't get away going under on Girard. Rare chance where you do.
Very, very fortunate on that. That was a really good look for Girard.
Here's Madsen, three-point shooting and an air ball. Ooh, two good shooters on back-to-back trips.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
I thought Girard's shot was a good shot. Madsen was probably a little bit of a force there. Thought it was actually a good test by P.J. Hall. You can see him going right back inside there, looking high-low. Zackery, they've got him on the point guard, basically, on Shefflin.
Zackery forced the give up. Out for the three. And short from Beadle. Offensive rebound. Shefflin puts it back and one. Andrew Latif said he's too small. Well, trying to use that mismatch with Boston College undersized. First it was Harris, but then the Harlem Globetrotters look. Beadle to Shefflin for the jam.
It's bow time.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey.
Turned up his scoring in ACC, almost 4.5 points per game more. This is the and one before the timeout.
Well, you can see there, Zackery was on Shefflin on the offensive glass there, and instead of him really trying to box him out with his rear end on his thighs to immobilize him, he was trying to keep him off with his hands, and Shefflin's just too big down there. And right now he's had a lot of really duck-ins and great opportunities going against the smaller guards at Boston College.
Well, he's the only guy in the ACC that scores at that level, combines that with the rebounding and the passing. And that's led to a quad of double-doubles this year.
Yeah, and he's, like I said earlier, he's wins so many 50-50 balls, loose balls, offensive rebounds, winning plays that even sometimes that don't always show up in the box score. He makes those plays that do show up.
You figured this could be a day when we got the news that Quinten Post, top scorer, top player down in the paint for Boston College, was out.
Well, I would tell you right now, this next 3 minutes right here segment, and you can see what Quinten Post, what they are losing with him not playing today. This segment right here over these next 3 minutes is going to make or break the game right here. I really believe that, just on the fact alone that Boston College has to keep it close, but this segment right here, can Clemson really extend it and get into double digits?
That's a guy that was just on that drive for Earl Grant, and he tagged the foul on R.J. Godfrey. Devin McLaughlin, he has been a different human in ACC play since it restarted.
It's been like two different guys, because what he's done in ACC play, the numbers that he's put up versus Georgia Tech 2 games ago, he had 30-plus points, and I mean, they're going to need him to have a 20-plus point game today if they're going to have a chance to beat Clemson, especially without Post. You saw those numbers where Post.
Well, McLaughlin with 2 points, and well, that'll work. Tough bucket for Jaeden Zackery.
Great curl cut by Zackery, and got behind the defense and held his seal. Zackery's a big, strong guard. That's why he's able to do some things in the post, trying to keep guys out of the post. But down there, he used his size to his advantage in posting up his defender on the base out of bounds.
Well, Wiggins said never mind, into the post. And Girard on the drive, with Harris bodying him up.
You can see right here, look at the tight curl by Zackery, and he gets underneath there and is able to get inside. He's lucky, Clemson's lucky he wasn't an and one. There should have been a foul called.
Well, Kelly hitting the deck, little floor burn with the steal for Boston College. And Zackery stays in attack mode. Now he's got his and one.
Big time 50-50 loose ball. I can't express enough about special team situations, base out of bounds. You can see the bump here in the old-fashioned opportunity for the and one. But think about it. Boston College scored on the base out of bounds on their end, and then they get a turnover against Clemson's base out of bounds. And it's right now, if he makes this free throw, that's 5 points in a base out of bounds situation. Those are special team situations. That's how you hang around and have a chance to win this game.
Well, that's where this game is interesting too, Coach Pastner, is neither team gets to the free throw line a lot, so the whistle is fascinating.
Yeah. I don't know if either coach is happy with ever the officials, unless you're on the winning side. However,
trying to buy their guys a few more trips there.
That's exactly right. But that's why Clemson's going to want to continue to go inside to try to put the onus on the official. Back-to-back turnovers.
And Kelly right in the middle of both of them. He keeps himself. What a recovery. Wiggins back into the play. Now the Tigers out and running. And Girard stripped. Zackery steps on the baseline.
2 things here. Zackery missed the free throw. They got the advantage down here on the transition, and they got a great block. Girard had a 3-on-1. You can see a great block here by Wiggins. Got up. But then great defense on the 3-on-1 fast break by Zackery by taking the ball out of Girard.
Back deep into the paint, an easy 2 for Godfrey.
They called a slice screen, a shuffle screen, out of the base, out of bounds. They got Godfrey to the post. There's a miscommunication on Boston College, and he got right there, too deep, too strong. Basket for Clemson.
What do you have to say on that slice cut? Make sure.
Well, depending on how they want to play. If they're going to want to switch it, they got to communicate early, loud, and often. If they're just trying to show, you got to war through. There wasn't enough help on the weak side. Godfrey just was untouched coming across the paint there. You can see here.
What you're talking about, yeah.
You can see right here where watch Godfrey comes untouched. There was no chesting, no physicality, no stopping his line of cutting, and able to get to that right to that sweet spot by the rim.
Strong lost it with 6 on the clock. Madsen ducking in, and he's fouled. So here you go. Boston College, not known for getting to the free throw line, going on back-to-back trips.
Well, think where they're scoring right now. They're going to score again off the base out of bounds. Think about Clemson, whether it was that turnover or that base out of bounds where they scored just on that shuffle cut by Gottfried. But this is, again, you're talking about base out of bounds. A lot of it, those are special team situations. They're little things, but they make a big difference when you're talking about winning.
That was the second foul on R.J. Godfrey, by the way. Hey, our gymnastics coverage on ACC Network continues tonight at 9 Eastern with the third of 3 quad meets. 4 schools compete against each other. We're featuring the final one, NC State, BYU, Cal, Michigan State. They'll be competing in 4 skills: bars, beam, vault, and floor. So 2 guys with 2 fouls now for Clemson. Early in this half, Dylan Hunter picked up 2 quick ones. Now R.J. Godfrey with 2 fouls on the bench for the Tigers. P.J. Hall's been a guy that's been in that situation the last several games. They've been able to keep him out of foul trouble. Girard off on the 3. Hall battling for the board. Rebound for Boston College with hands. And Hand going straight to the rim for 2 more.
Coast to coast there by Hand. But listen, Girard's, that's a shot that you got to allow Girard to shoot it. He's too good of a shooter, and he got open. You know, he was open, and that's just a shot. But right now, Boston College is hanging around.
You said this was a critical stretch for them without 2 starters, and they've responded well to Earl Grant. Back within 2, playing in fast break.
You can see right here, Connor, a reason why Boston College is hanging around, which Clemson prides itself on his transition defense. Defensive rebound by Boston College, and you can see right now they weren't back on numbers, Clemson, off of a quick shot, and then you can see from coast to coast, and Girard doesn't get over there to take the charge. Nobody stops the ball. I know that is unacceptable for Coach Brunell. He prides himself on not only half-court defense, but transition defense, but it's a reason right now why Boston College is hanging around only down 2.
So you wanted to see Shefflin show to the ball there a little bit.
Well, he needed to stop the ball, and then I'd like to see Girard, as he's pulled over, maybe got their beat way before it and try to just take a charge if he was able to. But somebody had to stop the ball. That drives a coach up the wall to allow someone to go from 94 feet from rim to rim without anybody stopping the ball, especially in transition defense. No coach is happy with that.
Well, out of the timeout, a foul on Madsen on the 3-point shooter with Wiggins going to the line. That's the second foul on Mason Madsen.
Connor, Clemson's front line, as you mentioned, is so tall, and Wiggins is like 6'9", but he's really most comfortable shooting threes. He's a perimeter player. They called a foul. I mean, I don't know how much there was a touch there, but those things drive you up the wall, as well as a coach, if I'm Coach Grant, more at the officials saying, man, we're right there in striking distance, right, but don't foul a jump shooter. And I don't know if there was really any contact, but that ends up gives Clemson a little life with that.
This question relates to Wiggins, I promise. Are you the type of person that's exactly like your parents, or did you stray away and do everything the opposite of them?
No, I'm probably a little more like my parents. I was
just like him. That's not how Wiggins is as far as his basketball game, because his parents both played, both big rebounders. Scoring came second. He's the opposite. Scoring came first, very, very early in his life.
Chauncey's Wiggins' parents are way better players than my parents, and Chauncey's a way better player than me. His development has been absolutely outstanding to watch. It's a credit to Clemson and Coach Brunell and their staff.
Oh, Shefflin thought he got it clean on the Madsen drive. Then back to the free throw line.
You know, I like to credit to both coaches, on both Coach Brunell and Coach Grant, the job they've done in developing guys in their program. They've gotten guys better. Now, let me just tell you this on Madsen. People gravitate towards him when he's at the three-point line. He pulls the gravity towards him because of his shooting ability. And because of that closeout, this is his second time where he's turned down that three to re-attack a closeout because of the gravity that he's pulled, and he's gotten to the rim. The one was the reverse, and now he gets the foul and a chance to make both free throws here.
And he doesn't miss these. He's 16 of 16 on the year when he does get there.
If there's a technical foul, you want him shooting it, that's for certain.
Oh, yeah. And the guy that got Boston College awake again offensively before the half at Syracuse earlier this week, before their comeback in the second half. Girard knocks in a three.
Misdirection, and then the flare screen. Girard came off on the flare screen. The penetration, threw it over the top. Got a great look, too good of a look for Girard. Great action there by Clemson.
And that was his 342nd three of his career. Is now tied for 4th in ACC history. The foul is going on the Tigers. If that's on Shefflin, that's his second, and they will get that on Shefflin. So here was the 4th place tying three for Girard, number 342.
It's a great pass, but Shefflin's screen. Shefflin's flare screen on the backside is what set it up, and that's what I've been talking about Shefflin. He makes winning plays, loose balls, screens. Him getting his second foul here is a big loss for Clemson. He got Girard that open shot.
We've seen P.J. Hall in this spot 3 games in a row for Clemson, where he fought some first half foul trouble, and Clemson went back to him. This is a little bit later in the half, though. You think that's a sit the rest of the way?
Well, I think they're going to end up sitting him the rest of the way. They're going to sit Shefflin the rest of the way. But if I'm Boston College, you can't afford to miss those free throws when you're just trying to, because your margin of error is literally none. I got to keep it within 5 to 7 going into halftime.
Hall had position and short on the hook. So a chance to work right here toward that goal of inside 5 or 7, but a miss from hand. You know, Boston College, pretty comfortable for playing from behind. They have played some really entertaining games in the ACC. Seems like they are more comfortable coming back in some cases.
Well, you know, look, they are who they are. They're tough. They're a hard-nosed basketball team. They're fundamentally sound. They're well coached.
Well, that's a tough shot, and it goes down for Wiggins.
You know, look, it's actually pretty good defense there by Boston College. They missed that 50-50 ball that Zackery tried to get early, kind of right in front of us, which allowed Clemson to regain the possession. Tough shot there by Wiggins. Just he over-elevated based on his size onto that baseline. Was able to get a good look just on his size alone.
McLaughlin bangs his way in, misses the bunny.
Can't miss those if you're trying to hang around. That and that shot plus the earlier free throw just are backbreakers.
Madsen gets the stop of the rebound.
Good box out by Madsen on Wiggins. Again, Wiggins has so much more size on Madsen, but Madsen attacked his legs right to his thigh, so he couldn't elevate on the jump.
Zackery split him, kick out. Harris with the rainbow.
Harris is a dynamic scorer, but if you notice there, Boston College ran the double drag high ball screen. Usually that's what they have post in there and who can pick and pop. It's a different deal without post, but great find by Zackery. Got Clemson sucked in, and Harris made a big three. He is a dynamic scorer, Harris.
Well, one of the best in the ACC from out there is P.J. Hall in tight again. 12.6 boards in this first half for Hall.
Got deep positioning, too deep. Got the angle right over his left shoulder where he's most comfortable. Pretty shot off the glass.
Harris loses the ball for a Boston College team that takes great care of the ball. And a foul out in transition. This is that look. This is a tough cover. Wiggins is 6'10" and some change.
Yeah, and you can see Madsen was right there. It's just his size was able to elevate over Matson. And one of the reasons when you're Boston College is able to, when they are down or be able to come back or stay within games, a lot of it has to do with not turning the ball over. I don't care if it's basketball, football, baseball, I don't care what sport it is. When you don't turn the ball over, you give yourself a chance to hang around and possibly win the game.
I never thought about that in baseball terms. A baseball turn.
Well, error. I was thinking more.
I
was thinking more errors.
Strike out, you give the other team a chance to
yeah,
bat.
I was thinking more. I consider errors as turnover. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I'm a huge baseball fan, though, so.
Get you on some ACC baseball coverage.
There you go.
Three for Zackery, swirls all the way around and out. And the clock is dark, so Clemson can hold for one last shot, up by 6 in the first half.
They're going to get it to Girard here. We'll see. They're just going to go straight high ball screen.
Well, could this be a historical 3? He's tied for 4th all time.
Here comes the high ball screen.
With Girard looking for 4th all time. He's fouled and almost banked it in to move up one spot in ACC history.
You know, this guy he just knows how to score. Again, this is 2 or 3 times now when the screen has come up on the high set. He has taken one dribble to his left and then right away gone right to his right and taken the shot going that direction. Got Boston College up in the air. They didn't stay down, and he gets 3 free throws. Let me just say this. This young man scored 4,700 points in high school.
Yep.
There's just something about scoring. You either know how to score or you don't. It's an innate ability to be able to find a way to put the ball in the basket, and he can do that as well as anybody in the ACC.
Well, the first couple shots that he put up, I'm sure if you're a Clemson fan sitting at home, you're thinking, uh-oh, this is kind of a carbon copy of the last 2 games for Girard, but he wasn't going to have 3 bad games shooting in a row.
When you're a scorer like that, with that scorer's mentality, you got to give some freedom and some room to take some of those maybe shots where you want to pull your hair out at times,
right.
You know, and so you got to have that ability to give him that because he has the ability to make those.
Well, as good as hitting a shot from outside with 3 free throws for Girard before half to extend the Clemson lead to 9. So one last look at it with 3.9 seconds for Boston College. Playing without 2 starters, trying to hang with Clemson on the road. In the hands of Kelly inside the arc, and that is short.
Wearing today, and he looks like he can still play. So he looks good. I know he might not be feeling good, but he looks good.
Well, second half off and rolling. Boston College looking for their first ranked win of the year. Clemson trying to stop a 3-game losing streak. And McLaughlin gets the second half started with a make.
They're going to need McLaughlin to find a way to score this half because, again, scoring is an issue to find guys who can make enough shots to hang around. And that's a good start, but they're going to need McLaughlin to really kind of get going this half.
Well, he's got the assignment on P.J. Hall, and he bumps him on the first trip down on defense. So Boston College with McLaughlin, it's really a big 4 as far as their scoring. It becomes more of a big 3 with post out, and then Aligbe is their 5th scorer that's usually in the starting lineup.
But I can't put enough stress and emphasis on having post out, just the things that he does offensively with the pick and pops, and then defensively, his size to match up with against the bigs inside of Clemson's. It's a huge loss to lose post.
Hunter's short, and an offensive rebound, of course, for Shefflin. He's been all over the glass.
Again, that's the size, not having post there, and just you know, Boston College plays through post so much during the offensive end, not having them, they had to reinvent themselves really before game time.
Those interchangeable bigs down in the post, without post for Clemson, Shefflin and Hall.
You can see where McLaughlin is right now at the elbow. That's where post has been at to play through him, and it's just a different feel when you've got post playing, who's also a great passer, more so than McLaughlin at that position.
They give up a few inches, that makes that pass a different angle. Hands on it for Harris. Oh, nice job getting on the deck. Look out in the courtside seats. Harris saves it for the Eagles.
Another 50-50 win there for Boston College. See if they can take advantage on this offensive sequence.
That was over in the seat where our lip-syncing friend during the national anthem was sitting. Zackery for 3, and he knocks it down.
Another 50-50 ball leads to a basket, but you're right. There was a fan there was lip syncing the national anthem the entire time. He was a great backup singer if we needed him to come in on that. But he was right there in the first row, and that's where they got the 50-50 ball, and it led to a 3-point shot.
Well, Shefflin had foul trouble in the first half. That's his third foul, getting called for the charge.
Well, you can see there just he used his chest, beat him to the spot. The 50-50 ball there, diving in the loose ball right into the front row, and then Zackery, you can see that on the drive, got pulled out, had Hall on him, got separation, and Zackery's a tough, hard-nosed guard. He's a good player. Let me also say this, it's so hard to get charges called in this day and age based on the new emphasis by Chris Ratsatter, the head of the officials. So it's to get a charge like they did right there for Boston College, that's a big deal because it's hard to get a call for the charge.
Well, and the importance of who it was on.
Yes.
It was on Shefflin, the top rebounder and one of the top scorers for Clemson.
But they turn it right back over. Something that Boston College doesn't do a lot is turn it over. It's a big turnover right there. You see they played off of R.J. Godfrey trying to really sit on P.J. Hall.
And Girard off the shot fake.
And again, because of the gravity, just like we were talking about Matson with Boston College, the gravity that he pulls from shooting threes, same thing with Girard. They're trying to just blanket him, and he's able to get by. And without Post in there with his size, there's really no shot blocker inside for Boston College at the rim.
Well, missing one of the top guys in the ACC, protecting the rim, Quinten Post. Late clock, strong off the shot fake, and flat in the mid-range.
Good defense by Clemson. And you got to give Earl Grant and his staff a lot of credit to have their team playing as well as they have right now. And
Godfrey in tight to make it a 10-point lead for the Tigers.
But this is where it kind of gets dicey. You start getting to double digits, and does it just kind of get worn out? Guys who maybe even who are playing because they feel a little bit under the weather, and then all of a sudden the conditioning, it hits into your legs, and is Clemson able to pull away right here? Big possession right here as we get close to the first media timeout.
And Girard was calling for the Clemson crowd to get involved, and that'll silence him.
I really
nice floater for Zackery.
I really like Zackery a lot, Connor. Man, he's tough, he's hard-nosed. He wasn't highly recruited, under the radar guy. Great job developing by Coach Grant and staff.
What's oh, here's Hall fighting for a second chance, and he's fouled.
You know, you look at the stats at the start of the halftime, everything was pretty even other than the offensive rebound, a +3 advantage on the offensive glass for Clemson. And just that size inside, I mean, they've just taken advantage of not having Post down there, or even Prince.
Yep.
Not having them down there. And Shefflin and Hall and Godfrey, they've just taken advantage of that size. And Boston College is trying, but there's some things that you just can't overcome based on genetics, someone being 6'11" and someone being 6'4".
Well, they're going to have to take Matson out of the game now, too. That was his 4th foul. So already shorthanded. 2 starters plus a backup out. And Matson on the bench for the foreseeable future.
And I think they're checking to see if the foul was on Matson. So that's going to, the officials are checking to make sure it was called on him, because that's a big deal. Having Matson out of the game, that alleviates your best 3-point shooter on the floor, basically, for Boston College.
Well, they'll actually change it to Zackery.
Yeah, so that's a gift for Boston College. We'll see if they get Matson back in.
Well, probably should have gone on McLaughlin, right?
Yeah, it looked like it. I don't think it was Zackery either.
I don't think I don't think Matson touched him either.
I don't think there was any touch by anybody. I think Clemson got a gift. I think they need to review that after the game. And Brian Kersey, who's the head of the officials of the ACC, who does an outstanding job, was one of the great officials in his time. I'm sure we'll be reaching out to those guys about that.
Now I know how you coaches can be. You said you're pro coach. You're always going to back your coaches. What about, are you pro ref now?
Well, look, I know the type of job that those guys have, and the ACC has outstanding officials. It's a very, very hard job, but they know what they signed up for. You're going to get criticized by a lot of people, especially the team that doesn't win or coaches. So, but these guys do a great job. Brian Kersey's got a great group of officials, and it's a high-level It's a high-level group. It's a hard job. It is not an easy job being an official.
And Godfrey going to work. Tough finish.
Just too strong down there, too deep in the paint. They got great position, and if you notice, Clemson is trying on the drive towards the center part of the lane on that duck in to try to take away any help from either side and just have a duck in right there by the block, dump down pass to give them a chance to get as close to the rim as possible.
And the biggest lead of this game for Clemson. And Harris, a little heavy on the three, rebound for Dylan Hunter. Clemson with a little tempo, a three, and it goes down. Number 4 all-time in the ACC and made threes, Joseph Girard.
Congratulations to Girard. Timeout called here, great timeout. You can see Girard's all fired up. Great timeout here by Boston College. They're going to try to slow things down. Congratulations to Girard on that. That's incredible. 4th in ACC history from three-point field goals made.
It's bow time.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey, Mom. I land at 3.
Any ideas for your first meal home?
Bojangles?
Well, you don't want my cooking. Well, okay.
This holiday, order your family favorites in the Bojangles app.
Now that tastes like home.
It's bow time.
He has it.
The competition's never been better.
I would never let a woman do that.
The stars have never been brighter.
career points.
Come on, Cameron Brink.
Deja Kelly.
Oh, that was pretty.
Ain't more magic.
Some brewing tonight. There's no stopping us now.
This is just spectacular.
That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC.
So you think you're ready for the NFL playoffs?
You ready, Joe? I was born ready.
Flyovers? Check. Extravagant entrances? Check. Dynamic duos?
Check.
Nightmare matchups? Check. Team of destiny? Check. All the heart-pumping, stadium-jumping action of your playoff dreams? Check, please.
NBA Wednesday on ABC.
Added up shooting threes and I slam on them. Slam!
A new night every Wednesday in January. The league's biggest teams, the game's brightest stars.
We hold the rock, I got 2 hands on it. Half court, we shooting shots like we wide open.
NBA Wednesday on ABC, home of the NBA Finals.
We have breaking news right now, so we wait to see how this plays out.
In all my years, I never watched anything like this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Mahomes. What a catch!
Hey, you gotta watch this. I'm watching. Oh, I'm watching.
You might be done.
Now on SportsCenter, another wild night.
Watch me.
Connor Onion, Josh Pastner at Clemson, where Joseph Girard just moved into 4th place by himself in ACC history. All-time made three-pointers. He passed Trajan Langdon, who was the Alaskan assassin, played for Duke, went to the national title game in '99.
First of all, you can see their career points in high school, 4,700. The guy just knows how to score. And when he hit that three, the crowd got electric. I've been so impressed by Little John. They've got a great home atmosphere here. The crowd went berserk, and it's a great accomplishment for Girard to do that. Now, look, he's played his 5 years in college, so it's a little different, but bottom line is the ball still goes through the hoop the same way, and the records count, and he's 4th all-time in ACC history, and that is ACC history. As good as you get.
Zackery off on the three. McLaughlin tapped it away, but into the hands of Wiggins. This fan base has a good memory, too. I was walking in today, and somebody was reminding me of the shield that you brought in here during COVID times. It was all crumpled up, getting after the refs a little bit.
In fact, I got a technical foul hitting the scores table with the face shield. Teddy Valentine, I love Teddy Valentine, but he gave me a tech because I hit my face shield. I wasn't mad at him. I was mad at the guy, my player, not getting cross half court in time.
Somebody was asking me, is Coach Pastner a nice guy? I wasn't sure after that day here at Little John.
I think I'm a nice guy.
I had your back.
Okay,
don't you worry.
Thank you, Connor.
I'm pro Pastner.
Thank you.
Kelly, deep three. Chaz Kelly from outside.
Yeah, that's a big shot right there. This was about to get Boston College. It was real in danger zone, Connor. So that three kept it a little bit in distance enough, because Boston College has got to find a way to keep it within single digits. There's no 14-point shot, but they're going to have to keep it within. At that under 8 timeout, they want to be within 8 or 9 just to give themselves a chance.
Well, this is a team, Boston College. They were down 16 against Georgia Tech. Came back and won that game. They're down 19 against Syracuse and took a lead. And McLaughlin air ball. A second chance at it. No shot clock reset, though.
The difference in those games, they had Post and Prince, both guys.
Late in the clock, Strong falling away. That'll help their comeback if he starts hitting shots.
Yeah. They got it. Look, here's if I'm Coach Grant, I'm sure he's told his team this. There is no 14, 16, 12-point shot. You just got to chip away, and the only way you can chip away is you've got to get stops. The only way you can chip away is you have to stop Clemson from scoring, and then from there you can take advantage on the other side. But you don't want to. You want to defend without fouling as well too.
The hands fouls Girard. That sends us back to break. The hook for R.J. Godfrey. That extended the lead, the biggest of the day, but Kelly stabilized things for the Eagles. They have it within 12.
At Domino's, we're on a mission to make sure our customers can always get hot pizza, even when the weather is not so hot. That's why we're plowing unplowed roads across the country, like this road, and this road, and Judy's road. Thanks. You're welcome, Judy. Nominate your town for plowing assistance at plowingforpizza.com so you can carry out 2 medium, 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each from Domino's, no matter the weather.
At Boar's Head, we live for delicious, for excellence that stands apart in every bite. We live for that perfect sizzle, and for perfectly melted cheese that awakens your taste buds and takes you to new heights. For experiences worth sharing and moments worth savoring. Welcome to the gateway to delicious. Welcome to the counterculture. Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
So you think you're ready for the NFL playoffs?
You ready, Joe? I was born ready.
Flyovers? Check. Extravagant entrances? Check. Dynamic duos?
Check.
Nightmare matchups? Check. Team of destiny? Check. All the heart-pumping, stadium-jumping action of your playoff dreams? Check, please.
The competition's never been better.
This is just spectacular.
The stars have never been brighter. That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC.
Going up
top, big finish. Filipowski, 3-ball.
Keep it hardcore like you never saw.
Georgia Tech at number 11 Duke, today at 5 on ACCN.
Ready for the NFL playoffs?
I was born ready.
Dramatic entrances? Check. Team of destiny?
Check.
Nightmare matchups? Check. All the heart-pumping playoff action of your dreams? Check, please.
Welcome back to men's college basketball, presented by Food Lion, official grocer of the ACC. Connor Onion, Josh Pastner. Now, this was obviously a huge part of the conversation last year, late in the season for Clemson, deserving of the NCAA tournament, not getting in. With their strength of schedule, the tournament were today. They've left no doubt, and with their 9-0 start.
They've had great non-conference wins. At Alabama, they played UAB, had a great win UAB, beat South Carolina. I mean, you look at their numbers right now, there's no doubt they're an NCAA tournament team. They should have been a tournament team last year to finish third in the top 4 in the ACC. Anytime you're a top 4 team in the ACC, you should be in the tournament. Should have got in last year. This year, they're leaving no doubt. As long as there's no incredible collapse, Clemson fans can know that they're going back to the NCAA tournament.
And yes, it's a 3-game losing streak. All of those are quad 1 losses, though.
And 2 on the road, and 1 is against Carolina, who right now is playing as well as any team in the country, and maybe the best team in the ACC.
This was called a block on McLaughlin.
Yeah, they're going right back inside. They're out of the timeout. Brad Brunell just called up the play, went right back into Hall. You'll see on the base out of bounds here. Now, that's been a little bit of a difference in the game for both teams. We call it special team situations. You want to take advantage of opportunities on the base out of bounds. It's a great way to get a set play, to find a way to get a shooter or go back inside here. That one time off of Clemson, they ran that shuffle cut screen, got Godfrey at the rim.
When you know these guys know each other's out of bounds stuff so well.
In conference.
Coaching with each other.
In conference and scouting, everything gets elevated. But yes, they obviously know.
And one, Chase Hunter going to the line to tag on.
Base out of bounds. Chase Hunter was the inbounder, came and threw it in, got the handoff, turned the corner on the ball screen there off the dribble handoff, went right to his left and got an old-fashioned opportunity for an and one here. Chase Hunter is so athletic. He's a guy that, he's one of those guys in the ACC that he's one of the most athletic guards, but he can create his own shot. He can play downhill. He's so good playing off of 2 feet. He's explosive. And Coach Brunell, as we talked in the first half, really challenged him on both ends of the floor. And for Clemson to be successful, they need him to be a high-level player, both offensively and defensively.
They've asked him to be a little bit more confrontational, too. Zackery gets in to score again, but that's what they've asked for from Chase Hunter is, you know, challenge your teammates a little bit. Yes, we're challenging you, but you can give that back to your guys and spread it around.
They wanted to be a little more vocal to kind of get after their guys a little more, and they need him to do that. But hey, when you got a big-time center in P.J. Hall, one of the best players in America, that's a pretty good weapon in itself right there.
He'll confront you in the paint.
Yeah, he will confront you. He'll tell you like it is.
Yep. Well, he's got Zackery here, and Kelly goes inside, and there was a whistle on the drive. 15-point game. Clemson trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Zackery trying to keep the Eagles close. P.J. Hall with the size advantage today with no Quinten post. Eaton down there for the Tigers.
Here at Papa John's, we know our stuff.
We know how to hand stuff our crust with more flavors than anyone else.
Like the blend of garlic herb ricotta and mozzarella in our new cheesy calzone epic stuffed crust pizza. We're talking the flavors of your favorite calzone, now stuffed right into the crust of your pizza.
Hey. I mean, no one stuffs a crust like Papa John's.
Get a new cheesy calzone epic stuffed crust pizza for a limited time, only at Papa John's.
Marcus is a connoisseur of anything that's free. So he was happy to read the disclaimer on TurboTax Free Edition.
Roughly 37% of taxpayers qualify. Form 1040 and limited credits only. See how at TurboTax.com. That's me!
File your taxes 100% free with TurboTax Free Edition and get your max refund guaranteed. Make your moves count. See if you qualify at TurboTax.com.
BMW, Freightliner, Ford, and many more of the world's leading brands hire Universal Technical Institute grads. And now, we're expanding to new industries. Since 1965, UTI has become known for its training in fields like auto, diesel, and welding. And with new programs coming in fields like aviation maintenance, HVACR, and wind energy, you can get more. Don't wait. Now's the time to train for a career you're passionate about. Visit uti.edu today.
Recollect I make a mic check on the windmill skill master snatch women guard from the hands.
Going up top, big finish. Filipowski, 3-ball.
Keep it hardcore like you never saw.
Georgia Tech at number 11 Duke today at 5 on ACCN.
We have breaking news right now, so we wait to see how this plays out.
In all my years, I never watched anything like this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Mahomes. What a catch!
Hey, you gotta watch this. I'm watching.
Oh, I'm watching.
You might be done.
Now on SportsCenter, another wild night.
Watch me do this.
Well, Boston College down 15. They've been in some of these spots before. 4 wins this season when they've trailed by 10 or more like they are right now.
Yeah, right now, though, as I mentioned, as we talked about, you know, they don't have post, don't have Prince. that makes it tough for the comeback because you're, especially with not having post or leading scorer, rebounder the way he does things offensively. That being said, Connor, this media timeout towards the next media timeout, which is basically a 4-minute segment, Boston College has to win this segment. They have to have a plus advantage in this segment. Otherwise, what ends up happening is you're starting to get an under 8 minutes based on the conditioning and, who knows who else is under the weather in Boston College, how they're feeling. And Clemson's not a team that's going to turn it over a lot. It becomes really tough for Boston College to make a comeback then. So this segment right here is going to be probably going to tell a lot about the game.
Yeah, it's hit the entire travel party for Boston College with the bug going through the team. 3 of those 4 comeback wins in that graphic we showed you were second half double-digit comebacks. And there was also the comeback that they had against Syracuse to take a lead late in that game. Coming up, more ACC men's basketball. Get you out to Duke at Cameron Indoor, Georgia Tech at Duke, the number 11 team in the country at 5 Eastern. Miami at Virginia Tech closes out coverage on ACC Network as far as the games today. Studio coverage after that to recap the entire day.
They got a great studio in there led by Kelsey Riggs, who's outstanding and awesome. She's as good as you get.
Everywhere this week, hosting a little studio coverage from Houston, college football national championship game. You're in good hands back there today.
She is as high level as you get. There's no doubt about that. Great, again, take there by P.J. Hall right to the rim. Whether it's the dribble, the pass, the post up, they want to get in the paint.
A 20-piece, little rim protection. P.J. Hall looking like P.J. Hall. Beetle off a shot fake, slithers in there.
You can see right now it's fallen a little bit apart for Boston College just based on they just don't have enough scoring right now. And there you go. I say that. That's why I'm sitting here, not on the sidelines. I say that, and all of a sudden they hit a nice 3. So
you would have told Elijah Strong, shoot that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you would have pulled the right strings.
But they needed that to just kind of break the rhythm from Clemson right there. You don't want to start getting past this point right here. You're starting to get close to that 8-minute mark. They got to get a stop here, Boston College, if they want to give themselves a chance just to hang.
Working on 20 points. P.J. Hall with the offhand.
And how about the left-hand baseline hook, the spin? Boston College looked they were going to double with Matson, who came from the high side, and P.J. Hall just spun away from it and had a beautiful left-hand hook.
And Kelly working in on Hall, who had the block a couple of trips ago. So they have to wheel it back out. And Madsen on the take. Godfrey closed off.
Godfrey was right there, not letting Matson have any space to shoot the 3.
And deep in the clock, Kelly whirls that out of bounds. Go back to that left-handed shot for P.J. Hall for a second. Where do you see him ending up next level?
Well, look, I mean, he's a really, really good basketball player. And, everyone throws the word around pro a lot.
Yeah.
You can be a pro, but it could be overseas.
Sure.
And you can still be a professional basketball player. To be an NBA guy, it's almost like winning the lottery. You can be a great college player. You can be the ACC Player of the Year. You can be first-team All-American and never get a sniff in the NBA.
It's an offensive foul on Beetle. Does he get a sniff?
I think he'll get an opportunity to be in the summer league, and people will look at him. But it's not easy, and you never know based on prior injuries and different things like that. Here's a charge here, which is, I don't think that was the right call either. That looked like a block, especially based on the new rule. But however, go look at a G League game and look at the people that are playing in that. First-team All-Americans, Player of the Years. I mean, the accolades that those guys are in there that they've never really even got a cup of coffee in the NBA. People don't fully understand it's almost impossible to play in that league.
McLaughlin over the top. This will stay down with the Eagles.
That's why it's the best basketball league in the world is the NBA, and that's why it's so hard to make. And if you make it, it's an incredible feat. It really is.
So even with the range and the ability to use both hands?
No, he's a prospect.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it, and I love P.J. Hall. I mean, I think he's an outstanding, and he's helped Brad Brunello win a lot of college games. But that thing in the NBA is just a different deal, and sometimes it could be based on. It has nothing to do with what you do in college. It could be strictly just based on potential, athleticism, size, all different things that is out of your wheelhouse.
That was an NBA level balloon rope that the fans had going that we just showed you.
That was pretty good balloon. Hey, this has been a great crowd, by the way. Great energy in the building. I want to give a shout out to Little John Coliseum here. The fans, they've been great. They've had a packed house, deservedly so. Clemson deserves that, being a top 25 team. And they can know that their team is getting back to the tournament this year when it comes down to Selection Sunday.
I'm trying to shut the water off on what's been a 3-game losing streak, and they're getting the ball back up 17 off the turnover.
Clemson's, when we talked at the beginning of the pregame about execution, execution is not only about half-court offense. Clemson is outstanding in their execution of half-court defense as well. The way they plug the gaps, how they guard the ball, how they move over to help side, and that was a great example there. Now you can see Boston College has gone into zone to try to change the pace a little bit defensively. Never mind, I was wrong on that. Now they switched back to man-to-man.
Hall on the attack, back to the left one more time.
It looked like from my vantage point, they maybe started in zone, then switched to man.
Well, that's where the variance comes between Earl Grant and Brad Brownell. You know, the rugged man-to-man style is pretty similar, but they do have some nuanced differences when they go zone.
Yeah, they do, and it was hard to tell because Clemson coming down got a little stagnant, so Boston College was able to be a little stagnant defensively. That's what Madsen does now, is he can make those threes off that quick, any room, any space that he might have.
And for the most part, Clemson has held him and Harris down from outside. Zackery ties this up, and the arrow stays with Clemson. P.J. Hall, it's been all left hand these last couple of trips. Back into the post on McLaughlin, working on a 24-point day.
Wow. This new Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear is so soft and so smooth. I'm starting to get tearied away. Ah, thank you, Mr. Smooth Bear.
Designed with smooth tear edges, new Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear has wavy perforations that tear so much better for a smooth, more enjoyable go.
Mom, you okay in there? I'm terrific.
Enjoy the go with Charmin.
We have breaking news right now, so we wait to see how this plays out.
In all my years, I never watched anything like this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Mahomes. What a catch!
Hey, you gotta watch this. I'm watching.
Oh, I'm watching.
You might be done.
Now on SportsCenter, another wild night.
Watch me do this.
The competition's never been better.
This is just spectacular.
The stars have never been brighter. That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC. She has it. The competition's never been better.
Have never let a woman do that.
The stars have never been brighter.
Caitlin Clark, 3,000 career points. Come on, Cameron Brink. Deja Kelly.
Oh, that was pretty.
ESPN and ABC.
I'm here courtside. Watch this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Watch this, watch this.
P.J. Hall, Joseph Girard, two guys we talked about. Clemson needed to get a little bit more from. Today, 38 combined points.
Yep. No, they've been outstanding. I mean, these guys are just high-level guys. And look, I would say right now, I think P.J. Hall, Baycott, one of those two, if it was today, is going to be Player of the Year in the ACC, is what I personally think. And I think the year PJ has had, he's been outstanding. Look, he's had a little bit of a slump those last couple games on their losses, but he's been about as efficient and as effective as anybody in this league, maybe even anyone in the country. And then Girard, when you include his shooting, that's where Clemson becomes really dangerous.
Yep. Came in not shooting it well. Hit 3 threes today. Can't add a fourth. And Zackery gets hands on it for Boston College. So you talked about winning that last battle, that 4-minute war. Boston College ended up coming out of their -1. And the lead grew to 16 points for Clemson. A one-handed pass gets away from Kelly.
You can see right now, I think for Boston College right now, Connor, their energy's starting to hit them right now. That second, third wind is not kicking in a sense, and you can see from Boston College's standpoint, it almost feels a little bit like they're kind of letting it slip away a little bit here. Clemson's got to take full advantage if they just want to absolutely just put it away. And these next couple possessions are going right back to PJ at the elbow.
Number 24 with 24 points, and he still has 24. But ball's kept alive into the hands of Beadle. And there's R.J. Godfrey crashing the offensive glass. Now Madsen breaks out and lays it in off the steal.
Great second effort by Godfrey on the offensive glass, came flying in. But good hands there by Madsen. Created a turnover by Clemson and allow him to kind of get just a little bit hanging around just enough.
Beadle lost it, but right in the lap of Godfrey for an and one. So your thought of just enough hanging around, then you get a good bounce Clemson's way.
Yeah, well, can I now reverse that statement? Because that negated the hanging around anymore. Just be having a chance to get a three-point play here. The drive, loose ball, Godfrey picks it up right there, and the and one opportunity. I mean, I don't think there's any question at this point Clemson is going to be able to hold on to this game. Just the size alone inside. And, you know, you got to imagine guys like Zackery who's fighting and battling down there. It's going to take a toll on you on the offensive end because it gets into your leg. Same thing with Harris and Hand. And you even, like, again, the offensive rebound part has really been the difference in this game. Second, third opportunities for Clemson.
Brad Brownell wanted more from Chase Hunter. How about that effort? You're up by 16. Bangs a guy down to the ground, skies over everybody to keep the possession alive.
He's an outstanding athlete, a quick jumper off the floor. And you can see Coach Brunell right now drawing up a play for a side base out of bounds right here. No box out there by Boston College, and just the effort, the quickness off the floor, the elevation. He's a guard. He's not even a big. That has been a big difference in this afternoon's game, is the offensive rebound. Almost a second straight steal by Madsen.
Snuck in there for fast break layup before, but Clemson keeps this time. Late clock Hunter. And off the Springboks. And with a little bit of tempo, Donald Hands throws it off the backboard.
Just uncharacteristic of some turnovers by Boston College. I do think that, again, just the...
Your teammates just suck at passing.
And Girard is fouled. The best part about being close to the student section here is you hear the greatest of the insults behind us.
That's correct. You hear their commentary, too.
Boston College was just accused of being stinky passers. It's the G-rated version of what was just behind us.
Well, here again, the turnover leads to Clemson getting transition offense, not allowing Boston College to get their half-court defense set up, which Earl Grant and his staff in BC is really good in half-court defense. Allowed Girardi to drive it and get to the free throw line.
Well, hey, Sundays are for women's basketball in the ACC. Pitt at Boston College at noon. Then that middle game presented by Food Lion, Wake Forest at number 15 Louisville. And the ranked Tar Heels host Virginia at 4 Eastern. Sunday women's basketball in the ACC on ACC Network coming up tomorrow. Boston College early in this game held the lead first 4 minutes. Clemson's led from pretty much that point on as Madsen hits a three.
You can see Coach Brunell right there, not happy about that. You can't give Madsen any looks. You got to smother him. Wiggins' hand was below the ball, allowed Madsen to shoot the ball above Wiggins' hand, gave him a little bit of airspace. Madsen's too good of a shooter.
Girard shot fake. Got him leaning.
And he's too good of a shooter as well, too, to give him any daylight. He's kind of got back on track now, and he keeps moving up the rankings in the ACC career three-point leader.
He has been especially good. As that bounces home for Harris. Girard has been especially good in his career against Boston College. He is a 48% three-point shooter. lifetime against these guys. It's best of any team he's played in the ACC. Hunter going back to the free throw line. So Madsen hit one. Like you said,
you see Wiggins' hands are down. You see they're below. They're giving too much airspace, and it's too late to try to get up there to contest that. Too late. And then you see Girard get Zackery up in the air, and then that's just literally like a free, horse shot that you're allowing one of the best shooters in the country to get right from the top of the key.
Well, McLaughlin is fouled out, by the way. Done for the rest of the day with 5 points, 5 fouls. And Hunter in and out in the first.
Boston College is going to be just fine once they get their team healthy and get back, get through the stomach bug here. But let me just tell you this, Connor. To win games, you gotta have some luck involved in staying healthy. Whether it is through like a flu, a stomach bug, or an injury, or whatever it may be, staying healthy is part of being a good basketball team. That's part of it, especially in college basketball.
A big belief in what Earl Grant did last year. A 3-win improvement overall. They won 3 more ACC games. He got an extension through the 28-29 season. Just year 3. They're going to get an all ACC level player back in Quinten Post when he's feeling better. And Harris plus the foul, that counts, and he'll go to the line for one more.
Really good curl. They tight curled that on their motion offense right there. And you can see here on a tight curl. And Clemson was trailing on it, and then Shefflin was just too late. And they're able to get the and one. And here's Harris for a chance for a 3-point play. Harris is a real dynamic scorer, transfer from Charleston Southern. He gives him a different look offensively. He can do some things that maybe some other guards at Boston College can on being able to create his own shot. And when him and Post are on the game together, they make a really great combination between those two.
Yeah, the 3-point shooting really stands out for Harris, right? But his scoring is split right down the middle. It's half and half.
He knows how to score.
3-pointers.
He can find ways to score. He can shoot it. He can do it off the bounce.
And Girard left open to the rim.
But you can see without Post in there, and they just don't have the size, the fear factor of having that guy there in the middle to not allow you to have a straight line drive, because that's not something that Girard does, his drive and untouched to the rim. You're going to have big guys there. That's the biggest miss of not having Post. Besides the offensive part, just his ability to shot block and create a presence in that paint.
And Girard bags another 3. On a day where he moved into 4th place in the ACC, he adds one more, and he is back on the right track shooting it. Timeout Boston College. By the way, I'm hung up on your Fear Factor reference. Great show back in the day. ACC men's college basketball is presented by Food Lion, official grocer of the ACC.
I'm here courtside. Watch this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Watch this, watch this.
Watch me. Do this. The most passion, the most intensity. This is the way basketball's supposed to be.
Taking the tours, I'm wrecking the land. I keep it hardcore cause it's dope, man.
What better way to get the juices flowing and to get your adrenaline going? That's it, Girard!
I keep it hardcore like you never saw your wanna be. You wanna be.
The competition's never been better.
This is just spectacular.
The stars have never been brighter. That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC.
Ready for the NFL playoffs?
I was born ready.
Dramatic entrances? Check. Team of destiny?
Check.
Nightmare matchups? Check. All the heart-pumping playoff action of your dreams? Check, please.
NBA Wednesday on ABC.
Added up shooting threes and I slam on them.
A new night every Wednesday in January. The league's biggest teams, the game's brightest stars.
We hold the rock, I got 2 hands on it. Half court, we shooting shots like we wide open.
ACC, home of the NBA Finals.
The most passion, the most intensity. This is the way basketball's supposed to be.
The competition's never been better.
I would never let a woman do that.
The stars have never been brighter.
Caitlin Clark, 3,000 career points.
Come on, Cameron Brink.
Deja Kelly.
Oh, that was pretty. Amor magic.
Some brewing tonight. There's no stopping us now.
This is just spectacular.
That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC.
P.J. Hall, another 20-point game, his 8th of the year, also his 3rd double-double.
Yeah, look, Connor, he's an outstanding basketball player. And he's just tough. He's hard-nosed. He creates a presence down there in the paint on the way he posts up. He's a little bit old school. He can make three-pointers. He can pass it. He's a guy that can lead this team to the Sweet 16 and possibly beyond. He's that type of talent. And he's been outstanding this afternoon.
You think beyond?
I think once you get to the Sweet 16, anything can happen. It's a crapshoot, absolute crapshoot. So the remaining 16 teams, it's a basket here, it's a matchup there. You're kind of playing with house money when you're in the Sweet 16 for all 16 teams.
Mm-hmm. Here's Hall going to work again.
Now, I want to say this. As they continue to move in the ACC, they're going to play. Hall will have guys he's playing against more like Quinten Post, where today he's not playing on that matchup.
That was gross.
Yeah. That was a bad decision by Matson to try to go at Hall on that. But they gave it right back.
Harris working the break. Zackery 3. And he lines it up.
I really like Zackery, man. He's tough. He was under-recruited, wasn't highly recruited. Great find by Coach Grant and his staff. Really good basketball player, knows how to play. He's tough, he's a winner, hard-nosed guy. He's a competitor. Big fan of Zackery.
He just kept Boston College hot. They've made 7 out of their last 8 field goals. They try to close the single digits before the 2.5-minute mark, and Girard's not letting them get any closer with the mid-range shot.
They're just, you can tell they're just kind of worn down right now, Boston College. And Girard, again, the pressure they're counting on him from three-point range is now allowing him to get into that mid-range game or to the rim and making some twos.
I think he's secured our player of the game interview.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
What are you going to ask him?
He's been outstanding. I got some questions I got to come up with him. I mean, he's...
Oh, you're still coming up with him?
I'm formulating in my mind. I'm not an expert like you at this yet. I'm still learning on this, Connor.
Harris with the big stuff.
You're a pro. Now, when you're asking me about who's a pro, you're a pro.
No, the balloon wand that we saw, that
was a pro.
Pro move from Clemson fans.
Pro move by the backup singer in the national anthem that we heard, that we saw him lip singing. That was a pro.
Lots of pros.
Yes.
Josh Pastner, pro coach, as we learned in the first segment.
Pro for coaches.
Exactly. 5 to shoot. Girard lost it. Zackery is right there, bottom of the pile. And the arrow is going down the other way. Tonight, 11 Eastern, after a men's basketball tripleheader and gymnastics, it's nothing but net. Those fine-looking gentlemen will recap the day across the ACC tonight at 11 Eastern on ACC Network.
Carlos Boozer was a really good pro, and he's got good sons who are potential to be pros.
Yeah.
They're really good high school players.
We liked having Carlos in Chicago, my hometown.
Yes, yes, really good as well. And Coach Boeheim is, and also I think Luke Hancock's in studio, and his Joel Berry in studio is tonight as well too.
You're just going to go down the entire ACC Network talent lineup.
I like to give shout-outs to everybody that I can.
I like it. No, don't forget Kelsey Riggs.
I pumped up Kelsey already.
We already gave her shine.
Yeah,
P.J. Hall with the bully ball slam.
Exclamation point on that one for P.J. Hall and for Clemson. Had the spin there. Matson just wasn't able to hold his ground. And great basket there by P.J.
And him and Girard in the fight for the team lead, both right at 26 points. I don't know if another shot will get airborne. Strong rolls that in from 3.
Look, Clemson's a really good basketball team, and they're going to win a lot of games in this league. And I'm telling you, they can advance and make a run in the NCAA tournament. I'm not saying to the Final Four, but I'm saying they can get to that Sweet 16. And like I've said, in the Sweet 16, anything can happen. And on Boston College side, Connor, look, once they get healthy, they're going to be a hard team to have to beat in this league. I mean, they've got, like you mentioned, a real elite player in post, and the things that he can do because he's unique based on his size, shooting, passing, defensively on the shot blocking. So missing him this afternoon was a huge loss for them. So we want him and their entire team and everyone to get back healthy. And they got a quick turnaround now. They play Notre Dame on Monday.
They do.
Very quick turnaround.
Yep.
So it's going to be a lot on the trainer.
Yeah. And getting some fluids in the guys that aren't feeling well. As Harris has the miss. Girard, fittingly, ball in his hands as Clemson will wind this out. He'll get back to winning, snapping a 3-game losing streak. On a day where Joseph Girard moved into 4th all-time in career 3-point makes.